TLRY Tilray. We have found another winner. And the best part is, we found it first. It's true. Tilray, TLRY, on the NASDAQ today, debuted at $17. It is now at $22.48, up a staggering $5.48, up 32%. Unbelievable. Now, what do we need to know about Tilray? Why is it booming? Oh, it's coming back down, folks. Look, it's coming back down. But why is it booming out the gate, you ask, Rich? What's making this boom, you ask? What's the catalyst, you ask? I'm going to tell you what the catalyst is. This is a new IPO, people. A new IPO. Tilray Inc. It has been public for only a few hours and it is already up and has been up over 30%. What a start for Tilray. But what is Tilray, you ask? Well, I'm going to show you. 5 things to know about the first pot company to go public on the NASDAQ. That is correct. The first pot company to go public directly on the NASDAQ. And Tilray sold the equivalent of 1,299 kilos of weed in the first quarter while growing in Canada and Europe. So they are currently growing and doing this in Canada and in Europe. But where are they going to be focused on? Now that they are on the NASDAQ, what they're going to focus on is America, okay? And this is where I see the opportunity. I see the opportunity in America. Yes, the opportunity is great in Canada with all of the cannabis stocks. But what about America? A country with 10 times the population of Canada. Can an investor dream of the possibilities? Yes, we can dream. And Tilray is allowing those dreams to come true because they're providing American investors the opportunity to invest in cannabis stocks that are going to be participating in business in America. So I want everyone to really understand what is happening here with Tilray and who Tilray is and what this really means. Because these guys are not some small little company that's going to start learning how to sell marijuana. Cannabis, they already are. Tilray Inc. is boldly going where few marijuana growers dare. Wall Street. The Canada-based marijuana production and processor has officially become the first company in the once clandestine sector to debut on the NASDAQ, folks, NDAQ, Global Select Market Exchange. It's true, Tilray is now on the NASDAQ. Now, if I was involved with this company, I would have said that they should go on the New York Stock Exchange, because the NASDAQ is a short-driven exchange. So as quickly as they're taking it up, at any point in time, they can easily take it back down. So I really want you to understand that. This is not something that, you know, you have to really understand what's happening here. This is huge. This is a company that is going to be a major player. To IPO at $17 a share is huge. Tilray, TLRY, which filed for its initial public offering in June, late Wednesday, priced its IPO at $17 a share, raising $153 million. Not bad. The stock will begin trading Thursday under the ticker symbol TLRY, and that is today. So we go back to the market and we see a $22 stock. I say pardon? Pioneering the future of medical cannabis globally. Nice website. And I see it's up 32%. Not a bad start. Would you agree? Please, if you guys like this video, smash that like button. If you haven't commented, please comment down below. Let me know what you think about this new IPO. Tilray, is this a stock that you're interested in purchasing? Is this the type of investment you want to get into? It's already up 30%. Is it too late for you? Do you think this will go higher? Do you think this will come back down? Clearly, this is a very successful IPO. Up 32% currently. Will it stay up 32%? I don't know. But currently, it is up 32%, and that looks good on them. Now, let's talk a little bit more about this. The company has crafted the deal to offer a dual share class structure. Class 2 shares, which is what investors are paying for, will receive 1 vote per share, and Class 1 shares will have 3 votes per share. At the moment, Seattle, Washington-based Privateer Holdings Inc., a venture capital firm with a sole focus on the marijuana industry, holds all 75 million of the Class 1 shares. Interesting. A group of undisclosed institutional investors owns roughly 8 million preferred shares, which will convert to 1 Class 1 share with the closure of the offering. So this is some big news. This is not a little company. This is a big company. Here's what you need to know. A first for a pot company. While Tilray is not the first cannabis company to list on the NASDAQ, at least one, Cronos Group, Cron, C-R-O-N, which we broke to you first as well, is cross-listed on the NASDAQ and the TSX Venture Exchange. Tilray will be the first cannabis cultivator to raise capital via a NASDAQ listing. One other, called Innovative Industrials Properties Inc., IIPR, went public on the New York Stock Exchange, but unlike Tilray, it is more of a real estate investment trust, not an actual pot producer. So Tilray is really focused on the production of marijuana. Let's talk about it here. Marijuana remains a decidedly complex regulatory issue in the United States, but Canada has been fertile ground for the growing industry, according to Scott Gropier, president and founder of Viridian Capital Advisors, a US-based investment bank that focuses on the cannabis sector. Canada is the first industrialized country to legalize recreational pot and has had a booming medical business for years. That's right. Canada is the first industrialized country to legalize recreational pot as of October 17th, 2018. And you know your boy Rich, we will bring all the information, everything that happens live into you first when legalization does happen, okay? And because of this, Tilray was waiting. They were waiting for this to be announced. And it may have been no coincidence that Tilray filed for its IPO the day after Canada set the October date for adult recreation cannabis use. So Tilray has been waiting for this. They're not the only company. There's going to be a green rush when October 17th launches. There will be a massive green rush in the sector. I promise you. Viridian has tracked pot-related capital markets transactions since 2014, and Groupier says that its investments have always been Canada-heavy as the institutional money continues to chase value up north. But as the cannabis industry perceived legitimacy and legality grows, American stock exchanges have warmed up to listing companies that grow and process the plant. That's where Tilray fits into the picture. Let me remind you, Tilray, new IPO today, TLRY in America on the NASDAQ at $22.24 currently, the first ever cannabis company to debut on the NASDAQ. This is huge news. This is breaking news. Please comment down below. Let me know what you think about Tilray. Is it a big winner? Do you like it? Do you want to have it in your portfolio? In general, U.S. capital markets have generally been closed to growers, says Groupier. Tilray is reflecting that exchanges like NASDAQ and New York Stock Exchange are starting to open up to the fact that cannabis is a legitimate marketplace. Every exchange is looking to be on the front lines of capital markets. Are you looking to be on the front lines? Because your boy Rich, we're on the front lines. That's why we're bringing you this information. That's why we're bringing you this news. Now remember, Rich TV Live is strictly for education, entertainment purposes. We are not licensed advisors. Do not go out there and buy Tilray just because you heard about it here first from your boy Rich. Of course you heard it here first. We bring everything first. We brought you Tilray first, okay? They're public. They're up 32%. They're open today. We brought it to you first. Do you see it anywhere else? Is anybody else talking about Tilray right now? I'm sure they will after this video is live and people see it. But is anybody else talking about Tilray right now? Because we're live and we're talking about Tilray right now. All right? In fact, I'm going to call somebody because I'm pretty excited about this, and I think this needs to be discussed further. We need to discuss this. This is some big news. I'm excited about it. It's putting a little spring in my step. Got a little spring in my step because of Tilray. It's looking good. It looks good. I'm not going to lie. And I mean, the articles are talking about Tilray everywhere. I'm just seeing articles talking about Tilray everywhere. Attila. My friend, we are live, and I just wanted to call you and get your opinion on Tilray. I don't know if you're aware of this, but they are up 32% right now.
Well, I had a feeling they'd start going up, especially, you know, they just got listed on the stock exchange today.
But we've seen a lot of different companies get listed and do IPOs. They haven't necessarily been successful. The first day, to go up from $17 to $22, I would consider that a huge victory. Would you agree?
Yeah, it was amazing. When I heard what they were up to, I was very surprised. You know, and I have a feeling it's because of the association they have with Canopy Grove.
So what exactly is their affiliation with Canopy Grove? Because I'm reading about this, and it seems like they have created two classes of shares. One for a company that is a new company that's obviously been created. It's not listed as Canopy Grow. It seems like it's a group of investors that own 75 million shares. So I'm wondering if that's Canopy Grow.
Well, it could very well be. I'm not 100% sure. You know, I didn't expect this kind of reaction, and I haven't had a chance to look it all over and see what's actually been going on with that. But I believe Tilray has been, you know, with Canopy Grove from its very early stages, and it's remained, I believe it's remained a private company up until now. So I don't know why they decided to, for whatever reason, to start trading it on its own. I have no idea.
Well, I think what happened was they decided that they could do it on their own, and I think that's what it is. They decided they could do this on their own, and they're ready. And I'm looking at I'm reading some articles on them, and the interesting thing is these guys have a net loss of 5.2 million on sales of 7.8 million. So I'm confused. It's like they're running at a loss. So I thought maybe they need to go public to get a little extra capital because they're operating at a loss right now.
Well, that's a good point. That's a very good point. And it quite may be that that's the reason why they did what they did.
I mean, it says right here, Tilray harvested 1,693 kilos of cannabis and sold 1,299 kilos at an average net selling price per gram of $5.94 per gram, which is up 7% from the year earlier period. It cost the company an average of $2.81 to produce the pot, an increase of 13% from the same quarter last year. So I'm confused. Like, this is going up. It's trading at a very high price. They're not making money. And I'm thinking maybe they're going public because they need the money, or they need it to stay because maybe they're burning too much money, so they need it to be public.
Well, I think you've probably nailed it right there. They've spent a lot more money than they've been bringing in, so it could be why they've done what they've done here today with this the listing of that company. But I know that when I first started watching Tilray was one of the first couple companies that Canopy had actually invested in and bought up. That Smith Falls is also associated with Canopy Grove.
Yeah, see, check this out. Tilray is a controlled company, which means that even after the IPO, it will be controlled by privateer. The venture capital firm has given Tilray credit and debit facilities that total $34 million. This same privateer owns 75 million shares in Tilray. Now, 75 million shares at $22 is, if I'm correct, it's like $1.5 billion.
Yeah. Well, Tilray's been around for a while. Tilray's been around for years now. So, I was surprised that it hasn't gone. I thought Rich, to tell you the truth, I thought it was already associated with Canopy Grove, but apparently not, because they were managed to it stayed private, and I guess they finally IPO'd.
That's it, buddy.
And you could be very right about all those privateer shareholders might own, like you say, the 75% of that stock. And we saw today Canopy coming down and Tilray going up.
It's crazy, man. So the markets are so crazy. You just don't know what to expect. No,
not anymore. They're coming out with new ways of making money, and I don't know. It is crazy. It is crazy.
So, is this something that you would be interested in buying, or is it too highly priced for you?
Well, for me personally, myself, I'm trying to stay away from the stocks that are priced that high, because I feel I just have more opportunity with the smaller licensed producers and the established ones specifically. Like the Supremes, the Huge, all sorts. Abcan. I mean, there's so many companies that fall into that category now. We were talking about it earlier. I can't even keep track of all these companies. There's so many of them coming on board right now that it's unbelievable how many marijuana companies are trying to get a piece of this pie. It's unbelievable. Can't keep track.
This is a very interesting company. They have licenses for cultivation facilities in Portugal and in Canada, which I love that, obviously being someone who has Portuguese descent. So for me, this is a very interesting company. I really like what I see from them, and I think it could be a huge winner. So everyone should put them on their watch list, put them on their radar, look at them very, very carefully, look at them very closely. They have huge potential, okay?
Yeah, absolutely. You know what, Rich? When I saw that it was going to IPO today, I wish I would have invested in it, but it was like totally off my radar as far as an opportunity, but it's proved me wrong. Obviously, you know, to be up $5 from the opening of your IPO, you know, from 17 to 23, or 17 to 22, what is it at 23 now?
$22.
Yeah, so to be up $5, that would have been an excellent sniper trade, but I really didn't think that it would do that. I actually mentioned to someone this morning that I personally myself wouldn't have invested in that company only because it's just too rich for my blood. It's not where I'm putting my money right now. So, you know, I'm currently not interested at this time to be buying something like a Canopy, you know, or a Tilray that comes out with, you know, $17 to start. You know, I mentioned it to one person this morning. They were shocked at the opening price, but I knew it would be up there because they're associated with Canopy and have been for a long time. So they do have a history and a long one at that, and being associated with Canopy, and I had a feeling it would come out strong.
Canopy's down to $33.78 right now.
Wow, dropped a couple bucks already today. Wow.
Yep, and everything is down. Aurora Cannabis is down under $8. I think they're at $7.80. Wow, they're just tanking. $7 and like 70 cents something right now. 70 something cents. They're just tanking.
Wow.
So
yeah, it was down there earlier this week too, about like 760 or something at one point there this week, and bounced back to climb up over about $8. But now it's you know, it's going back down, and this shouldn't be.
Feels like Tilray's gone up on a kind of a sneak attack. Like the whole market's down, but Tilray's up. You know what I mean?
I know, and you know, this is what Canopy. I mean, Canopy was doing the same sort of thing. Canopy kind of dictated what all the other stocks would be doing on that day. When Canopy was up large, all the other marijuana stocks would like follow, almost like at one time when Bitcoin would go up, all the other coins would start going up with it. But you know, this year I think now we're getting closer to legalization, and this is just another way to spin off and make some money. I think, you know, they did it at the right time. These people know what they're doing. You know, and these shareholders, they're just enjoying the riches.
It's just so crazy. It's everything feels so manipulated. Everything goes down. The whole market's down. Everything's down. And then Tilray does a new IPO and it goes up. On the NASDAQ, a market that gets shorted more than any other market in the world. So it's a little bit comical, I'm not gonna lie.
What do you expect tomorrow with this stock?
I personally think it's gonna come back down at some point. I don't like.
For sure, it can't go on, keep going like this. I mean, it's unbelievable. You know, and I know that you know, Tilray's not doing anything any special than they've done before. They just all of a sudden now they've no longer private, and they're now an exchange stock. So I don't know what to say. It just kind of blew me away. The kind of value that this Tilray is now all of a sudden out of nowhere. Just, you know, this is definitely strategic on Canopy's part for sure. I want to read more into all this, what's happened here today with Canopy and Tilray.
Well, it's very interesting. I mean, to see them go up 30% the first day they go public. I mean, they're not even showing up on a lot of platforms because it's their first day, right? Like they just started trading. Yeah. And to shoot up 30% when we've seen so many IPOs fail and struggle. And here in the summertime, everything is failing and struggling. And here this thing is, and it's been going up all day. I wasn't even gonna go live with this, but I was kind of forced to the way it traded. I'll be honest with you. I wasn't planning on going live with this because there's so many IPOs, right? And it's like it's hard to keep track of everything. We try our best to do it, but this is one that I almost felt like I had to. I mean, look at the price. It's at $22. It immediately puts it. It immediately puts it in the same conversation as Cannabis Growth Day One. It has. I'm just reading right now. It has a valuation from day one of over $1 billion.
Wow. Yeah, well, you know what? They've been around. They're associated with Canopy. That doesn't surprise me. That was one of Canopy's little babies when they first started out. I wish I, wish I could have, wish I would have, could have bought Canopy at $2 even way back then. I just thought, I invested in Supreme when it was 25 cents, so why would I pay $2 for something when I can buy something for 25 cents in the same industry? But, that just kind of tells the tale of the real strong companies and how they're going to dominate. And, Canopy has shown nothing but just dominating this industry, alongside with Aurora, Apria. Those three, they're going to be the three behemoths out there.
Well, Tilray wants to be up there because look at this. They're the first cannabis IPO on the NASDAQ, and they got a valuation day one of $1.4 billion with a B, as in Bobby. And that's why the stock has soared 30% day one. Unbelievable.
Yeah, I don't know what to make of all that. This association with Canopy has got to do a great deal with what's gone on there today with Tilray. I knew what this was going to happen. They announced it a couple of weeks ago about Tilray coming out and no longer being private, and look what it's done. It's just and I'm wondering if it could be, like you say, Canopy. It could be Canopy shareholders that are capitalizing on this. They're taking their money out of Canopy and maybe dumping it into this Tilray and making quick dollars. So I don't know what to think. It just really caught me off guard. I didn't expect this kind of reaction from the stock. Especially on an IPO. Does T-God have the same type of performance when it IPO'd? I can't exactly remember.
It didn't do it the first day. It was more over a period. It was over a period of 30 days. It was a period of 30 days. It was
like a week, but it went up 100%, so a little more.
Yeah, it took 30 days though. This is up 30% day one. T-God did not go up 30% day one. So
yeah, but I'd be more than happy with 100% in 30 days. So there's nothing wrong with that.
Oh yeah, absolutely, of course.
Yeah.
No, I mean this is a great successful IPO. Just more validation that this is a growing industry and will only get bigger. And we are just in the early stages. These are the first days of a growing industry. It's making global news, and Tilray, a pot producer, a cannabis producer of medical cannabis and cannabinoids, is at $22, has a valuation of $1.4 billion, and goes up 30%. So they're worth more than that right now. This is absolutely amazing news for the industry. So regardless of how your entire portfolio is doing, regardless of how the whole sector is doing, I just want people to understand, the markets were going to go down in the summer anyways. I predicted that from the beginning. I predicted that last year. I predicted that this year. They are going to go down regardless in the summertime for multiple reasons, okay? One of which is that most of the institutions, most investors in the summertime are with their families. They're not in front of a computer. They're not focused on the markets. Most people with wealth are on vacation with their families during the holidays. And in the summertime, if you have kids, if you have family, you're with your kids. You're not in front of the computer because your kids, your family, they're saying, get off the computer, spend some time with your family. Especially here in Canada when it's only good weather for a few months. So this is a seasonal thing. It's been proven over and over again, and I've not just seen it.
Understand that. People need to really truly understand that this is like a seasonal type industry. And when they're crying about losses during this time, when they're seeing their stocks dwindle in share price, and they're panicking, that's not an indication to sell. You'd be silly to sell. So you just, people need a strong stomach, not only just for this industry, but for trading stocks to begin with, but particularly with the marijuana stocks. It's volatile. They need to understand marijuana stocks are seasonal, cyclical. They need to understand that. And once they get their head over that, they can stop panicking, and they become better traders by knowing this, right? And we've had several years now to kind of monitor what's going on and when it goes on. And people should start to understand that, marijuana stocks are a seasonal stock and should be traded as such.
Wow, these guys are enormous. So check this out. So they are currently exporting to Chile, Argentina, South Africa, Australia, New Zealand, Cyprus, Czech Republic, Croatia, and Germany. That's 11 countries.
Do you know why that is? Those are the same countries that Canopy is established in and in doing business in. They're the same countries that they're doing business in. This is associated with Canopy Grow, this company, and that's why they're already associated with those countries, because they're already associated with Canopy. And they've been with Canopy. They started out, when Canopy first started out, it was one of the first companies they picked up. Smith Falls, Tilray.
Two countries that they're expecting to export to are Ireland and Brazil. Wow, Brazil will be huge.
Wow, yeah.
Brazil is a huge economy.
And this is what I love. People don't realize it, or maybe they do, but Canada is going to be the country that's going to prevail in this marijuana industry. The first movers. And Canada is the first mover, and we're already establishing international connections all over the world. And Canada's, been the first ones to do it. Everybody else is way behind. Canada there'll be very few international markets left. There'll be little bits and pieces left for others later on down the road when some of these American companies actually become federally legal again, or not again, but at some time in the future. But there'll be very little left international opportunities, because Canada's going to scoop it all up.
Yeah, it seems like they've put together a really good team here, man. I'm looking at everything they're doing. I really like what these guys are doing. I'm on their website. Everything seems very professional, very clean, very organized, very strong team in place. These guys... The way that they've structured this, I believe this partner is Canopy under this different name that owns 75 million shares and is offering them a funding resource. Because the weird thing is they don't have any mention of Canopy anywhere.
Yeah.
So my question is,
that's old news.
No, but my question is this why Canopy's going down? Like, let's think about this. If Tilray breaks off from Canopy, look, one is going down.
Right.
The other one's going up. Is this because the market is saying Tilray now is on their own? So all of that was Tilray. It wasn't Canopy. That was Tilray. And Canopy was running Tilray under their financial umbrella. And because of it, all of the work that Tilray was doing was bumping up Canopy.
Yeah.
So now
Tilray
does a subsidiary, creates a subsidiary, runs their own IPO, breaks off, goes independent from Canopy, and now because of that, Canopy is being considered smaller, less powerful, less of a pioneer, because Tilray now is creating their own brand. Because the thing is, there's no mention of Canopy in any of these press releases. There's no mention of Canopy on Tilray's website anywhere that I've seen. So I'm wondering here what the situation is, how these guys are still working together, and in what capacity. Because it's obviously affected Canopy.
For sure. Very interesting. As this unfolds here, the next couple days will tell the tale, I guess. But I'll be definitely looking into more of what's gone on here today. I'm out and about right now, but
Well, thank you very much. I just wanted to get your opinion on it. Attila, thank you once again, man, for joining us. I will talk to you soon, and thank you for all the information.
You're welcome.
Thank you for all the information you're always sharing. Go ahead.
Rich, I don't know if you want to share that news there I shared with you this morning about the Tea God coming out with their what is it? They're going to offer Tea God
the dividend. The dividend.
The dividend. So that's important news too. I think that's very big news today too. So
yeah,
it's worth a quick mention for sure.
Tea God is probably my #1 pick right now. Aurora Cannabis.
I love it for the price. I love it for the price. That's one of those companies there that most definitely want to keep my eye on. And before I'm going to have a decision to make there. As we get closer to legalization, because I kept some money aside to be sure that I can invest in one of the companies that I feel comfortable with and putting more money into, whether I own it already or whether I want to put more money into it or not, or just one of these other companies that are up and coming. And like we said earlier, so many of them, there's just so many of them to speak of. But I'm going to prepare myself for the big boom that's coming, and I just want to put out there that everyone who owns marijuana stocks, you should not panic sell. Do not sell for a loss, especially. I don't know what everybody's financial situation is, but this is the way marijuana stocks are, and you need a strong stomach for it. But just hold on a little longer, because everyone will be quite happy in a few months' time.
Yeah, I think that right now, what people have to think about is they have to think the opposite. If you think that when things are down, that's the wrong time to buy, then you got to think the opposite. That's when you want to buy them. When your favorite stock is beaten down, it's like when your favorite pair of shoes goes on sale. That's the way I look at it. So when they're down, that's when you're buying. And then when they're up, that's when you're selling. Throughout the year, anytime any of the stocks I have purchased throughout the year have gone up, I have sold. And anytime my favorite assets have gone down, I have lowered my cost average. That is how I trade. And if you learn to trade like that and you take more of a relaxed approach and you invest in really good companies, over the long haul, you will win.
Yeah. That's a sound way of investing. Bringing down your costs, buying in, at lower prices when everything starts going down. I think, it's a sound way of trading.
I agree. Well, thank you again, my friend. Thank you again.
You're welcome, Rich. Anytime. We'll talk to you again.
Yeah, and you know what? I really appreciate you always sending me the emails of the news. Guys, Attila is constantly sending me. He is the real medical marijuana gorilla. He is constantly sending me news. Constantly. I can't even keep up with it. And then I read it, and I'm like, oh my goodness, this is great news. Like, every single piece of news is always big news. So I really appreciate that, man. Like, it's guys like you that allow me to stay on top of these types of opportunities, these types of events that are happening.
I like you, Rich. I want to see the investors profit on this industry. It's the most unbelievable opportunity that the average person is going to have in their lifetime, most likely. Very few opportunities left for the average Joe, and I would just really hope, I'm trying to bring as much news possible to the investors, people of Rich TV, and the WhatsApp, and all the people involved. I'm just, I want to see them succeed too. So, when I see something newsworthy, I like to bring it right to you, Rich, because I know you'll give it the exposure it deserves.
Well, I try to. I can't control the exposure 100%. That's based on a lot of different factors, but I always do my best to try to bring the most biggest breaking news. Even like today, I was never intending on talking about Tilray. I didn't expect it to perform like this. Even right now, it is up even more. Like, it is climbing. It's just skyrocketing. So it's doing really, really well. And it's nice to see, man. It's just nice to see. You don't see it every day.
Sure.
You don't see it every day, so it's nice to see.
I'm just wondering, I'm really looking forward to the outcome of all of what's happened here today. I'm really interested in, how Cannabis association with this company is, and I'm really looking for the end result of all of this, and I'll be doing a little more research on as to both these companies. And I want to find out more about what's gone on here today and how both of these companies are associated. So I guess we'll be in touch later, and we'll find out more when we have the facts.
Yeah, Tilray right now is at $22.51.
Yeah,
So
wow.
it's
Wow.
just
If
some
I
fire.
only would have known, I didn't expect it to do that, but that's one of the companies that I maybe would have put some money on had I, at $17.
Hey, before you go, talk about the Aurora Cannabis MedRelief acquisition, because I received a package in the mail where I would have everyone that owned Aurora shares that was a shareholder received a package in the mail where you could vote on the MedRelief acquisition by Aurora. And you actually contacted me today to talk about it. I did have a package, and I was going to do a video. I've just been so busy. I haven't had a chance to do it. So let's just talk about it now. Do you want to talk about the results? Because you brought it to me, so I want you to talk to it.
We can talk about it quickly. When it comes to politicians and politics, hardly any of us vote. But when it comes to our investments, I think a lot of people should vote. This is your livelihood. It's your money. It's your investments, and people should vote on stuff that's brought to the table when they have to address it. But anyway, the MedRelief shares, it was an overwhelming 93% accepting of the shares of the MedRelief shares associated with Aurora. So this was incredible. I really like the fact that the 93% of the vote was positive and accepting the shares, and this Aurora is, when these I know they're kind of diluted right now, but you know what? When these companies and MedRelief and the Cannabis, when that all comes to fruition, I think that company is just going to start to soar. It's going to be 10 times in the future for sure. We just need to wait for this for the shares to kind of
yeah, because the acquisition, and I can try to grab it actually right now. I believe it was like 400 plus million shares that are being added to the issued and outstanding share structure of Aurora Cannabis due to this acquisition. Now, is that a good thing? They almost doubled their shares, so they're going to be at over 900 million shares. So that's a lot of overhang. That's a lot, especially for institutional investors to be able to digest. I believe that's a lot of overhang. It's going to create a lot of selling. It's going to create a lot of fear. So there will be opportunities, I believe, to get Aurora even lower than where we see it today, especially over the next 6 weeks. But come October 17th, we will see some explosions in the market. You can mark my words.
Oh yeah, there'll be lots of that going on. I think we'll see how much everyone will start going up in value and which shares hold the real true value. Though I got to make a comment though about Aurora. Don't get me wrong, it's one of my favorite stocks. Aurora, fantastic company. A lot of people aren't a big fan of the dilution, but I think with all the acquisitions that they have made, I think it's down the road in the future, and although Aurora, we're going to see some increase in their share, but not as much as I would have expected to because of the dilution. So I think, but we're going to see some great share value later on down the road. I'm talking maybe a year or something. But all these acquisitions that they made with their shares are all going to bring fantastic returns in the future. So the timeline, I think, for Aurora to break out and do some astronomical increase in share price, I think it's going to be further down the road than I originally thought.
Well, Aurora was one of the companies that said that they will not do anything until legalization. So I anticipate that they are going to benefit from legalization as much as anybody. So just wait 90 days, and I think things are going to look very different than they do right now in the market. I think the landscape will look very different, and I believe that the market cap will double. I'm making a prediction right now. I believe that the market cap will double Because if you go to the marijuana index, you'll see, and I can prove it based on historical patterns and charts, that it's been much higher. It's pretty much the lowest it's been. So when the market explodes based on its 1 year chart, if you go to the North American index, you can see that it's been as high as 362, and right now it's at 226. So it's been much higher. The Canadian index has been as high as, in the last year, it's been as high as 1,000. So it's been as high as 1,045, okay? Right now it's at 538. So it's half it. It's 50% of what it has been at its peak, which was right at the beginning of the year. So it went, like, the chart is ridiculous. It went from a market cap of 216 to 1,000. It went up 400% over a period of 2 months. Then it came all the way down from 1,000 to 500 over a period of the last 8 months. So do you see what's happened here? So it exploded. There's been a massive consolidation. So what do you think is going to happen next? This consolidation is just like the consolidation of last year. So what's going to happen next is we're going to go into the fall, and there's going to be another huge explosion, which will be the catalyst of October 17th, which is legalization. And companies like Cannabis, you're going to be able to position yourself at a ridiculous level. T-God, Cannabis, Afria, hopefully all the best ones that we're talking about every day, we'll be able to position ourselves at these ridiculous levels right now over the next 6 weeks, because I anticipate in September it's going to start, and then October it's going to get even bigger, and then on November it's going to get crazy, and then December it's going to get crazier, and then that's when I want to get out, because based on the charts, January seems to hit its peak like January 1, and then it comes crashing down for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
Right?
And people should look at all the charts of all the companies they own. Take a 1 year look at all the charts, and you can see almost every one of these companies, they almost operate, you know, it's a seasonal stock. This is a seasonal stock. So people will see, you know, looking at a 1 year chart, you'll know when your entry point should be and when your exit point should be. You know, it's a great way to figure out this marijuana industry, is because it's such a cyclical stock. You can almost, you know, kind of date, and maybe not to the day, but, you know, within a month, you should be able to know when to get out and when to get in.
Well, especially if you've been watching the markets like we have, and you get to learn their trends, you know that there's been no real big rush the whole year. It's been choppy. It's been choppy all year. And it's funny because, Attila, have I not predicted this?
Oh, yeah. The last couple of years, exactly the way you predicted it.
And we talk like weekly, right? And I've always said, listen, in the summertime, I'm not even looking at the markets because I know they're going to get ugly. It doesn't mean that the stocks are ugly. It just means that the market right now is a bear market. So when you have a company like this and they're exploding like this, their first day out on their new IPO, and they're at $22.50, and it's a new IPO and it's up 30%, and the whole market is down and it's a bear market and they still go public, that shows you how confident these guys are.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Right?
Sure. Absolutely. There's a lot of confidence there in that market with these guys. And the insiders, you know, they get the scoop before everybody else. I wish it could be an insider, but that's just not the way. We have to work with the tools that we're provided with. So, you know, anyway, but just get back quickly. I just wanted to make a point about the manipulation that you talk about, you know. All these people who manipulate the industry, these are a means of a way of discouraging some of these investors to sell their stock at a loss. And I encourage everyone, you know, almost every one of my stocks are in the red right now. Although I bought in the red also, they've still come down a bit, but there's no reason to panic sell. That's ridiculous to sell. People should not panic, should not sell because things are going in the red. And when you mention, you know, things are getting nasty in the industry, that's not, Rich does not mean to sell your stock when he says that. He's letting you know, this is the time of year. It's going to go down further. People should understand that, but that's not an indication to sell.
I mean, at the end of the day, everybody can do whatever they want. I just don't like to take. I just don't like to take L's. If you want to go take an L, go take an L. I'm not taking an L. Yeah. I'm not going to take an L. I'm not going to take an L in an industry that is just getting started. I mean, that makes no sense. This is an industry that is just getting started. Even the biggest companies have been around no longer than 4 to 5 years, which is ridiculous. We are literally just getting started. Like even Bitcoin has been around for like almost 10 years. This industry has not been around for 10 years. These stocks have only been trading for the biggest ones, max 3 years.
Yeah.
Like we're literally just at the start. So when people are panic selling, it's for me, it's comical because it's like, that's like selling Amazon 3 years into its existence. And you look at Amazon now, 20 years in, and they're the most powerful company in the world.
Yeah.
Trading at $1,800. And I predicted that too. And I also predicted Netflix too. So when you find good companies, you got to get in because when they explode, nothing will stop them. When they decide to explode, nothing will stop them. And we've seen that in the cannabis sector, correct? Like when you got into Supreme at 25 cents and they went up to $2. I mean, that was a nice 10x, right? I mean, we've seen this. We've profited from this already. And yes, maybe we've bought again in with the house's money. And maybe we bought in too soon because we're impatient. That is what we need to learn from. And when it goes back up this fall and this winter, and we have the opportunity to pull profits, I'm pulling all my profits and I'm sitting on the sidelines until next summer. I'm not buying nothing until next summer. I'm gonna sell the rush and I'm gonna chill. I'm gonna enjoy my winnings, and then I'm gonna wait for next summer. And then when next summer comes, I'm going in big. Trust me. And what it's gonna do, it's gonna give me more time to research all the companies and to watch them and see what their management is doing, see what acquisitions they're doing, see what their revenues are like, see what their overhead is like, see what their profits and losses are like. I want to really analyze these companies, and the only way to do it is to do it over time. So what I do is I watch these companies, I analyze these companies, I research these companies. I try to really get to understand the companies, the news, their trading, their patterns, their history, because it's seasonal. You can see it in the charts. You see the big pump in 2016 to 2017. Boom, in the fall and the winter. Then it came back down in the summer. Then the same thing happened last year. Boom, an enormous pump. And now it's consolidated. So what do you think is coming next? We've got legalization as a catalyst. There can only be one thing that's going to follow this bear market, and that is going to be an epic run for the ages. And I'm predicting it. I've predicted it all year. I'm going to continue to predict it. And even after it goes up, I'll keep talking about it. But the thing is, here at Rich TV Live, we like to predict things before it happens. Not after it happens, before it happens. That's what takes, for me, skill. Anybody can go after and be like, oh yeah, Tilray, it's up 30%. I told you guys first. Man, we've been talking about Tilray for like 2 years.
Yeah.
I didn't even feel a need to even talk about it. I'm going public now because I felt the need. Because I honestly felt like I have to talk about it because nobody is.
Yeah.
Let's go live and talk about it because nobody is. Right?
Yeah.
So, let's talk about it. Since nobody's talking about it, let's be the first ones once again to talk about it. Right? Because somebody's got to talk about it. So... yeah, and I like your messages, stock market finance mastery.
Okay.
And no, stock market finance mastery is in the group chat, and he's commenting on some of the things that are happening, and I like some of his comments. I'm just reading some of these comments. Yeah, and it is this is history in the making. So it's nice to be a part of history. Win, lose, or draw, it's just nice to be a part of history. And that's the way I feel. What do you think?
I wanted to kind of mention something about this. For sure, this is a historic opportunity for anybody. I keep saying that so many times. I mean, we're not going to see another opportunity like this for average people. But, you talked about the manipulation earlier. Does it not surprise you that they came up with this October date for the marijuana? Because it could have been July 1st. But why did they not go with July 1st? Well, they're going to attribute that to, the issues that they had in Parliament with passing the marijuana and stuff like that. But personally, myself, I think they waited for, because it's a cyclical stock.
Yep.
They were waiting for that date.
Of course, because they wanted to
the fucking manipulation, right?
They wanted to explode.
Yeah.
They wanted to explode because they're invested in it as well. So if you're invested in it as well, you think Trudeau doesn't own cannabis stocks?
Well, he wants to go on holiday too, just like all the other people. Like they closed down Parliament now, right? Everybody's on holidays.
Everybody's on holidays, and then when they get back in September, everybody's gonna, all right, boys and girls, it's time to make money. Christmas is coming, and we got all these pot stocks, and we got all these pot stocks to play with, and let's go and have some fun, right? So that's what it is, man. Like it's just a big game.
Yeah. Unfortunately, those are the insiders, the people with all the heads up. They're going to profit the most. The people with all the big bucks put into it, the insiders and stuff, they're going to profit from it the most. But again, we as just average people have an opportunity here that should not be overlooked, and we've got to take advantage of this. And again, I know last year, I personally know several people who have lost $20,000-$30,000 in the marijuana industry last year. They lost faith in it as it was tanking, and they got in at the wrong time because they didn't pay attention. They weren't paying attention to the cyclical stock that it was, and they just figured, they're going to do what everybody else is doing, just jump on the bandwagon. Well, they didn't do their research because a lot of those people that I know have lost, lots of money, and the fear started to, and they sold at a loss. The fear, they were overwhelmed with the fear, and they sold at a loss. What a big mistake. So they should have just held on, and they would have been twice as far ahead as they were when they originally got into the game. So again, at the end of the day, we can't force anyone to do anything. We are not licensed advisors anyway. So for me, I'm good with whatever people want to do. I honestly don't even care. For me, this is just about giving people the education, giving people the tools to make decisions. If you want to go and buy a cannabis stock, we're going to show you some of the best. And when there's a new IPO that comes out, you can count on richtvlive to bring it to you first. And that's really what it comes down to at this point. I don't care whether people buy or sell these stocks. I'm not telling them to buy or sell these stocks, nor would I ever want to, nor would I be interested in doing that. I'm not here to be a messiah. I'm just here. Not the oracle,
no, I'm not an oracle. I'm not a messiah. I'm just a normal guy like everybody else. And when they go down, I bleed like everybody else. And when they go up, I rejoice like everybody else. Very simple.
Sure.
I just have created an investing strategy which is based more on research. Invest in good companies. When you find good companies, buy them when they're low. When they're up, take your profits and run. Enjoy the profits. Enjoy your life. Enjoy living. Life is too short. Enjoy every single moment. Use the money you make to enhance your life. That's why we do it. When it goes down, do not panic sell. Instead, buy more. When you take on that strategy, you position yourself for wealth. If you do that over years and you find the right companies, over years, you will become independently wealthy. I mean, that's just the strategy, and I've been doing it. I do not have a boss, haven't had a boss my whole life, and I'm independently wealthy in the sense that I can do whatever I want whenever I want. To me, that time that I have, that freedom to go spend time with my kids every single day because I can, That's what I've been working for my entire life. That is worth its price in gold.
For sure.
You cannot put a price on that for me because I'm the type of person that enjoys my freedom. Now, if you want to go work 8 hours a day or 12 hours a day and you enjoy that, that's fine. I'm not here to talk down to anyone who enjoys that. But for me, I'm the type of person, I enjoy the freedom. I like to travel. I like to spend time with my kids. I like to buy stocks when I feel like it. I like to do whatever the hell I want to do when I want to do it. That's just the way I live. And because of that, I'm not the kind of guy that can really have a boss, nor am I the kind of person that can stare in front of a computer all day long. I don't want to. I don't enjoy it.
You had the ambition, you had the ambition from the beginning to want to do your own thing and be your own boss and not have anyone looking over your shoulders when you're doing your stuff. And yes, freedom is a wonderful thing, and you've given that to yourself. So way to go, Rich.
But that's the thing. If you just have the attitude of accumulate, eventually, mark my words, I've been around the markets for 20 years. Eventually, all of these stocks will explode. They will all take their turn. And I'm going to explain to you why, okay? All of these companies that have raised millions and millions of dollars, including the ones that are down, like HIP Resources, XLY, Fire, Abcan, all companies we've talked about that have gone all the way up and have come all the way back down and are back at 52-week lows. And we've profited from all of them. So we're not surprised when we see them go back down in the summertime. This is the trend. But the mistake we made, and I'll admit I made it myself, is when I pulled money out at the top, January 1 last year, I reinvested again shortly thereafter on a dip thinking that they were going to stay going up. Not realizing that, hey, they're going to go back down again. And once they started to go down, I realized it, but it was already too late. So since then...
No. You fell for the FOMO?
Of course, right? Because I was so excited of all the money I just made. I thought, why not just put it back in? I owe it to them, right? Wrong. I got screwed, and I've been...
We've all done that sort of thing, too. I fell for the FOMO, too. You're doing well, and, you just want to jump back in again, So, yeah, but, again, strong stomach. You need a strong stomach for it, and use your gut, Rich TV has provided the tools and the know-how. We now have a pretty good handle on when to trade these stocks and when to sell them, and you stick to the general rule and don't fall for the FOMO. We should do all really well.
And that's the thing is I've invested in stocks before that I got rid of, sold for a loss, panic sold, and then a year later, 2 years later, they explode. And I sit there and I just want to pull my hair out. So for me, I don't want to go through that painful experience. So for me, I would much rather buy more, lower my costs, keep buying cheap shares. Eventually, they will explode because there's insiders in those companies like funders that have put millions of dollars at higher prices. And the only way those funders can make money is if the stock goes up. So do you know what they're going to do to make sure it goes up, Attila?
What's that?
They're going to promote the stock.
Well, sure,
you get the alerts, right, Attila? Right? You see
yes,
the
I do.
Okay, so you know what I'm talking about. I've been in the industry for 20 years. You've been around. This exists, people. They're called promoters. And these companies, when they need to get out, and I'm talking about banks, I'm talking about institutions, when they've got millions and millions and millions of dollars tied up in Abcan at $2.25 and Abcan goes to $1.10, do you think they're going to take an L?
Do I think they're going to take a what?
Do you think a bank is going to take a loss?
No.
So the bank is going to go and say, okay, who's the top promoter in the industry? Let's go and pay those guys $1 million, and they'll take the stock up to $4 over a period of 3 months, and we'll sell all of our stock, and we'll make $100 million.
For sure. No, that's what they do. That's what promoters do, and they get paid to do that. So
Well, that's how the game works. So when you've been around the game as long as I have and you understand the way the game works, you never really panic when things go down. The way you got to look at it is say, okay, let me just wait until it hits the bottom. I'm not going to buy it all the way down. Let me wait until it's the bottom. And then when it hits the absolute bottom, then I will buy it back. And at that point in time, I will lower my costs as much as humanly possible so that when it does bounce back and do a dead cat bounce, I can get out very easily with a nice profit. That is how I trade. That's how I've always traded. There's only been 2 or 3 times in my life where I've invested in something and the business has gone out of business. With this strategy, that's the only way that you will lose. Now, if you're investing in companies that are licensed cannabis producers, the chances of them going out of business is almost zero. So that's why for me, I'm not concerned about the price. If it goes down, I'm excited because I can go and buy isodiol at a dirt cheap price and get thousands of shares for a couple grand and just hold on to it. And if it goes up to $5 one day, I can make a small fortune on a few $1,000s. So for me, that is a blessing in disguise. And that is how I trade. But everybody's different. Everybody's welcome to trade however they want to.
Sure, yeah, sure. You know.
But that is how I trade. I know that's how you trade. So, you know what I mean? Sometimes we're down, and then when you're down, you just gotta wait.
That's it.
I've been down on real estate before, you know, and I've had to wait. So I mean, it's no different. So whether it's real estate, stock, or cryptocurrencies, when you invest in something, if it goes down, the only thing you can do is either buy more or wait.
Yeah. And that's why I say the strong, you know, that's where the strong stomach part comes in. I mean, when stocks, you own a stock that's going down, you bought it in the red and it's going down, you know, I almost kind of laugh at it when I see it go down 10 cents here, 10 cents there. You know, I almost kind of chuckle at it because I know where they're going to go later. But, you know, you need a strong stomach for it, and all I can say is you can't be panic selling, right? That's how people get losses, you know, panic selling. So, you know, you just stay strong. You know, I'm glad I did really well on the HIP when, you know, I bought HIP. We were talking about HIP there from the very beginning, you and I got involved in the HIP a long time ago. And I did well selling the HIP. I made great money. And here it's down, way back down, really
ridiculous.
Low again.
It's ridiculous.
And I think it's just another buying opportunity. You know, I'm even going to give it a little more time because, again, I said I got some money there set aside just for, although I own a lot of stocks right now, several different marijuana stocks, I still have money put aside for some special stock that I want to put money in. It all depends on my research and what I'm going to do with it, but I'm waiting for that September day, you know, or late August, September, start, you know, thinking about where I want to put that extra money.
Yeah, well, I think Tilray is definitely an option that people should consider. A new IPO on the NASDAQ under the symbol TLRY. Be careful. If something goes up 30%, it could come crashing down maybe as early as tomorrow. So be very careful. I do not buy anything in the green. I watch it, I wait, and when they're down and they're beaten up like a lot of the marijuana stocks are right now, that's when you buy. And when they're up 30%, if you're in Tilray today and you're up 30%, probably a day to sell.
For sure.
Now, I'm not telling you what to do. I ain't telling you what to do. I'm just giving you my advice. I'm giving you my advice.
30%, I take the money when I see 20, 15, 12%, I take it. But
exactly.
When you're up 30, take it.
Especially in a market that's so volatile. I mean, there's no indication that this is going to continue. So,
and, you know, if it keeps going up and, you know, you sell, you've made your 30%, you sell and it keeps going up, you really got no complaints because you're still up 30%. You know, we can still go back to that shoulda, woulda, coulda attitude. But you know what? You see meat on the bone, you take the meat. Take the meat off the bone. If it happens to go up, well, it goes up later again. So what? There'll be other opportunities.
All right, Attila, we've been live for about an hour, buddy. We're going to go now. Thank you once again for joining me, man. I really appreciate it. I love your insight. Have yourself a great day. and we'll stay in touch, man. And go Tilray. Up
Okay,
30% right now.
great one.
Okay, buddy. Cheers.
Take care. Bye-bye.
That's Attila, the medical marijuana gorilla. And this is your boy Rich. We're bringing you Tilray, another IPO, another big winner, and we brought it to you first. And this is one that I really like. I think it has huge potential. I think this is one that you need to have on your radar and consider putting it in your portfolio at some point in time. I do not own it yet. If I do buy it, I will let you guys know, and I will always let you guys know what I'm doing first, okay? Thank you for watching. Please smash that like button. It really allows this video to go viral so everybody in the world can learn about Tilray. And if we buy Tilray and everybody buys it, guess what? We all win. It's true. Think about that. If all the richaholics buy Tilray and everybody buys Tilray and it goes up, we all win. Crazy concept, isn't it? All right, Tilray, new IPO, big winner, up big, first day, up over 32%. If you're not winning, you're not watching. This is your boy Rich, bringing you Tilray, TLRY on the NASDAQ. Comment down below, what do you think? I'm out.